Hey guys, it's Bailey from Making Up the Midwest, and this is going to be a complete overview of the entire Too Faced Cosmetics bronzer line, as well as reviews of each bronzer individually. Now, this is what's called the Little Black Book, the Little Black Book of bronzers from Too Faced, and a limited quantity were released on TooFaced.com as well as Ulta, maybe even Sephora. I'm not sure what its availability will be in the future, but that's why I wanted to make this video, because after having owned this and gotten a chance to try all the bronzers in the collection, it's safe to say that the average person, doesn't need them all. It's a cool collector's item to have, and you certainly would use all of them eventually, but it's more than the average person might need. So what I wanted to do is go through each one individually and give a little review of each one so that ultimately you can decide whether you need one, a few, or all of them. So let's get started. The first two bronzers I'm going to gloss over a little bit because I think they're the most popular from the line, so a lot of people have talked about them before. In addition, I have mentioned them in previous videos and blog posts, so I'll link those down below, but they are the Milk Chocolate Soleil and Chocolate Soleil bronzers, and essentially they are just matte bronzers. One is lighter, the milk chocolate, while the other is deeper. And these are great because not only do they smell like chocolate, but they're also good for contouring, for creating effective, natural looking shadow, as opposed to some of the other shimmery bronzers in here that make it readily apparent that you're wearing product. Additionally, the milk chocolate bronzer is every pale girl's best friend because while it's still effective, it's not too deep, it's not so orange that it'll make you look like an Oompa Loompa, and it's not so cool that it will make you look muddy and ashy. Next up is Snow Bunny, which is a luminous bronzer. It, as you can see, is divided up into 4 shades. One is a golden shimmery frost. The other is sort of a medium bronze. The next is a light frosted pink. And the next is kind of a gold shimmer with a little bit of pink in it. So rolled all together, these create one of the most beautiful highlighters. I'm actually wearing it today on my cheeks. It's one of my favorite highlighters of all time. But what's also great about it is that you can, using an eyeshadow brush, single each of these out individually to create an eye look, which I'll show you. I'm not wearing today, but I did use it previously. There isn't a drastic difference in between each shade, but if you tend to go for more shimmery and subtle eye looks, you can still get a solid eye look as well as a highlighter, so it definitely multitasks. Next up is the Bronzed and Poreless Pore Perfecting Bronzer up here, and owning this is the first time I have ever tried this bronzer, and when I first saw it, I thought it looked suspiciously similar to the Chocolate Soleil bronzer, and they are in fact very similar. The differences mainly fall in with the color. The Milk Chocolate Soleil is a little tad bit cooler than Bronzed and Poreless, although I do have a clip of me wearing one on each cheek, and they're virtually indistinguishable when they are on. The other main difference comes with the texture. While the Milk Chocolate Soleil is absolutely smooth, it doesn't get chalky or clumpy or anything like that, the Bronzed and Poreless feels very similar to the Primed and Poreless powder, but a pressed and bronzed version, obviously. Because they are so similar, they both serve the same purpose, that you can use them to contour if you're really fair, you can bronze all over with it. However, if you tend to like to warm up your nose or wherever you tend to have larger pores, this might be the better option for you given how similar they are. And next up in the wheel is Pink Leopard, which is more of a blush. This I've also had experience with in a trio that contained 2 other leopard bronzers that I'm not sure are still available, but while they say it's a blush, it has a subtle pink hue to it, but you can see just by looking at the pan there's a ton of bronze in there, and so that's really what comes through when you apply it to your cheeks. It has a similar color palette to Snow Bunny, although it does lack this white shimmer strip, and it's obviously harder to distinguish individual shades if you were to try and go in with a shadow brush and apply it as an eyeshadow. So I really think this is more if you want an overall shimmery bronzy blush with a hint of pink. And then there is Beach Bunny, which is the bronzed counterpart to Snow Bunny that I just talked about. Much like Snow Bunny, it has 4 distinct shades, one of which is a deep bronze, one is a light kind of taupey bronze, one is more of a medium copper bronze, and one is more of a neutral bronze. Swirled all together, they create a very shimmery bronzer that I would use just as that, not contouring, because it's not going to look as natural as, say, a matte shade would. However, depending on your color scheme that day, you can use a smaller face brush to get in, say, 2 or so at a time and go in with warmer shades or cooler shades depending on the look you're wearing that day. Almost done. The next one is the Endless Summer 16-Hour Longwear Bronzer. That is what I'm wearing as a contour today because although it does have a very, very small amount of shimmer in it, it's virtually matte, I'm wearing it as a contour today, and you can see that it's not overtly shimmery. Once again though, this is the first time that I had used this bronzer, and it looks very similar to the Bronzed and Poreless down here and the Milk Chocolate Soleil over here. So given how subtle the shimmer is, I would say that you could pick one of those three and still be set for a contour or a bronzer that's suitable for very fair and light skin tones. While the appeal here is that it's going to last for 16-hour long wear, I don't personally have any wear issues with the other bronzers from this range. They really are all made spectacularly well so that they apply smoothly and last really long throughout the day, so that you would need a specific bronzer for 16-hour wear. I personally don't. And last is Sun Bunny, which is natural and is very similar to Beach Bunny in that you have more variety with your bronzers, but less variety. You have two, obviously, in here. One is a lighter and one is a deeper. You can obviously swirl them together or use them distinctly, maybe alternate for the winter months versus the summer months. Both of these are shimmery though, so I would recommend using them as all-over bronzers as opposed to contour. So those are all the bronzers from Too Faced Cosmetics. I hope this helped kind of clarify and distinguish what each one might be used for, because there is some overlap when it comes to a few of them. However, a lot, and they're all very well made, make no mistake, but some have some overlap, but they all serve very distinct purposes, whether it is you're looking for a matte contour shade, an olive bronze shade, a bronzer that can be used as eyeshadow, or a bronzer that can be used as eyeshadow and highlighter. They're all great, it's just knowing which one or two or five are right for you. So I hope that helped. And something else I wanted to point out is that if you do find that you're lusting after more than one of these, they do make some palettes. In fact, I've talked about one here before. One is the Bonjour Soleil palette. This one is limited edition, however, I'm pretty sure it's still available on the Too Faced website in Ulta right now. I have an entirely different video review of this if you'd like to see it, because it contains Chocolate Soleil bronzer, the Sun Bunny natural bronzer, which I've used as a blush in that video I think, and then the Snow Bunny, which again, one of my favorite highlight bronzers. So there are definitely ways to save, it's just finding out which one is right for you. I hope you guys found this video helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you in my next video. Bye!